Goal setting theory argues that by setting goals, that helps to bring out someone's motivation to partake in that particular behavior. So goals, they function as a motivation, but they also, another function of them is that they also direct that behavior. So for instance, if someone's goal is to lose weight, which isn't actually a behavior change, okay, but if someone's goal is to lose weight, that might direct the behavior they choose, right? So that might focus their efforts on reducing caloric consumption and increasing energy expenditure to get them towards that particular goal. And again, losing weight is quite motivating for a lot of people. The issue with that kind of goal, though, is that because we're not motivating someone or not setting a goal that's behavioral in nature, the goal has to do with an outcome, not with a behavior. Once that person reaches that particular outcome, how do we get them locked into the actual behavior? Okay, so some things to consider when we're talking about goals. Okay, so certain factors do influence how effective setting a goal is. So if that goal seems insurmountable, and someone, especially if someone has low self-efficacy for that goal, they're probably not going to do it. So for instance, if we're still using the example of losing weight, if the goal is to lose 50 pounds in 3 months, first of all, that's ridiculous. And for most people, and that's just an insurmountable goal. Or for instance, if I were to set a goal to be able to, run a 25-minute 5K, that'd be very easy for most of you, for some of you guys. But I've never done a 5K under barely, well, I've done one under 30 minutes, but definitely not close to 25. That goal for me would just be like, why would I even bother? I'm just not going to get there. Okay. So how specific we are about that goal as well. So for instance, I want to lose weight. That's not very specific. I want to exercise more. That's not very specific. The more specific the goal is, the more likely someone is to actually engage in it, and feedback along the way. You're doing a good job. Look, you did that. And the feedback can also be individual as well, where they write down every day what they actually did about that goal. Okay. So some people use the term CSI, challenging, specific, and immediate. Okay, so that they're seeing some of those results more immediately. If sometimes it's a long-term goal, it can be discouraging to think that it's going to take so long to get to. And that's why, so for instance, if your long-term goal is to graduate with a degree in BPK, and that's the only goal you're focused on, well, it can become discouraging to really engage in your courses. Okay, but if your short-term goal is to do well on your next quiz, for instance, that's more of something that's more immediate, right? Which might fuel your studying more in that case. Okay, so people, again, to engage in this goal, they need the actual ability. Feedback can help as well. Rewards are really important. In the next module, you're going to watch a video on behaviorism, which is going to talk about reinforcement theory, which is really important for helping people stay motivated and for changing behavior. Okay, having supportive people around them, individuals who accept their goals. Some people, like I said, don't want you to change. Some people want you to stay exactly where you are. So that can be difficult for people when they are trying to make a difference. Okay. So something else to talk about with goals is thing to consider is, has that goal been assigned to the person, or is that goal a goal that person actually wants? And if it's a goal that they assign to themselves, they might be more invested in it. However, if it's a goal that someone else assigned to them and they really respect that person, or they really want that person to be proud of them, that might also have an effect. And again, you might be like, well, which one is it? Well, it depends on the situation and it depends on the person. The problem with science is that we generalize things a lot. And when it comes to behavior change, we're just so different. And it's really hard to figure out what's actually going to cause people to change behavior. So we really have to get into people's minds. Okay. Also, people's priorities change as they start engaging in a goal. So for instance, some people, again, keep using the weight loss thing. Some people might start eating fruits and vegetables as a way to lose weight. But after a while, they might actually notice that by eating fruits and vegetables, they are going to the washroom more, which makes them, feel lighter, let's say. Okay. So now the priority has changed to why they want to actually do that. Varying level of confidence, and confidence can change throughout the behavior change process as well. So people are like, yeah, I can do it. I got this. All right, in the beginning. And then it's like, I suck, like I can't do this, and it can fluctuate from day to day. You probably find that yourself. But sometimes you wake up and you're like, I can do anything. And sometimes you wake up and you're like, I suck at everything, for example. Don't take that too harsh. That is just part of being human, and we got to just decondition that way of thinking a little bit, because you can do anything you want. But we have to realize that people, have that change in confidence. This is something as well, varying levels of progress on goals. So I have a friend that works that's the founder of the medical weight management clinic in Coquitlam, and she says that a lot of her clients suffer from what she calls comparatitis. And it's really hard because some people will enter the program at the same time, and some people see a lot of results right away. It depends what you mean by results, but some people, let's say lose a lot of weight right away, and some people, they have a slower process, and that can become really discouraging. When you're working just as hard as someone else and you see that they're like visibly maybe doing better, or you perceive them to be doing better, that can be like, if you have self-doubt, if you have like those feelings of inadequacy, that can really reinforce them. And that's why, again, it's important to reframe that to be like, everyone's journey is different and we all achieve things differently, or our body just changes differently as well. Probably seen this before. I think you guys talk about this in 343. I talk about this in 140 and 110, I think. But this is like coaching 101, SMART goal setting. Okay, so SMART. Usually these 5 words mean these 5 things, although some words, especially the A, can sometimes be different. So specific, is the goal specific? So like I said, a really poor goal in my opinion is, I want to lose weight. How much? By when? Right? And also, losing weight is not a behavior. It's a outcome potentially. Okay, better goal. I want to exercise. No, that's actually not a great goal. How much do you want to exercise? How often? When? Where? What? Right? Better. I want to exercise every week. Okay, getting closer. I want to exercise 3 times a week. Okay, getting closer. I want to exercise Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Okay, let's keep going. I want to exercise Monday at 9 a.m., and Wednesday at 9 a.m. and Friday at 9 a.m. Okay, one level more. At 9 a.m. I have signed up for a yoga class from 9 to 10 with my friend Megan. Wednesday I have signed up for playing tennis with my husband at Jean Mont's Park. Okay, on Friday, do you know what I'm saying? The more specific someone is, the more likely they are to engage in it. Okay. And can you measure that? You can't really measure exercise more. Okay, you walked 20 seconds more this week than you did last week. Okay, you technically exercised more. Okay, so I want to exercise more. I want to lose weight. Those are not really measurable. So a measurable, like that last goal I said, I want to exercise 3 times a week from this time, this time, this time. I can measure that. Did I do it? Check. Okay, so if it's measurable, you know when it's done. So the A sometimes means different things. Acceptable, like, is it something that you feel good about doing? I like A is sometimes used to mean agreed upon. Like, do they actually agree to this? And is it something, if you're working with 2 people, like, do you both agree to those terms? It's sometimes used for attainable, but attainable kind of is like the same as realistic. Okay, so realistic is like, is it actually something that you're able to do? So I had a behavior change project in my 140 class, and I had one student say, okay, my SMART goal is that I want to run 90 minutes 5 days a week. And they were starting at 0. And why I docked marks is like, you can't go from 0 to 90 in this case. Like, that's not really realistic. You don't have the aerobic capacity to do that. I can barely do that myself. So they have to be realistic. I want to lose 50 pounds in 2 months. Oh my God, is that realistic? I want to be able to run a 25-minute 5K. Is that really realistic, Deanna? Okay, yeah, maybe I could do it. But that would technically take years or a lot of work for me to be able to do that. Okay, so those goals have to be realistic, or it can be very discouraging, and it can really negatively affect people's self-efficacy and self-esteem as well. And then the T is timely, or sometimes used to represent time-bound. Okay, so the example I used about 3 times a week, I know at the end of the week if I did it or not. Okay, so this is like a short-term goal, right? And there might be also a long-term goal as well, like a time frame for that goal to be done. Okay, so by the end of this month, I want to know that I have exercised 3 times a week, every week. Okay, that's a time-bound goal. Okay. So again, when we are working, so SMART goals, this is really about working with people one-on-one often, or having people work through this on their own. But the idea for this is for them to really make these SMART goals from a place that is realistic for them, that fits into their lives, and that's going to help them keep up this behavior so it is a positive thing in their life.